Hi everybody, it's Jen. Welcome back to my channel, Hallmark Plus More, where we watch and talk about shows, movies, mysteries, Hallmark ornaments, and anything else that floats our boat. So today we're going to be discussing Tracker Season 2, Episode 6, which airs on CBS, starring Justin Hartley as Coulter Shaw. So before we get into the episode and discuss it, I just want to start by saying thank you to everybody who watches my videos and subscribes to my channel. I appreciate you more than you know. So thank you so much. So let's just get into talking about the episode. A lot of action, right? A lot of storyline there. It's about four friends that basically go hiking. They're kind of camping out at a campsite. And one of their friends, Lauren, who couldn't go, is the one who hires Coulter. $25,000 is a pretty good reward. Basically, she's concerned that she's not hearing back from her friends. So Sam, Coop, Jason, and Monica are the four friends, and Jason and Monica are married. So she's the only woman in the group, and she's married to Jason. So basically, they're at a campsite. You see that at the first scene there. They're drinking, they're having a good time, they're listening to music. They turn the music up. Jason and Monica start dancing, and then I just saw something between them. It's like they gave each other a look. And I was like, all right, they're plotting something. Like, I don't like what I'm seeing here. There's something going on. And then Monica's trying to convince everybody to go on a hike, go to see a waterfall. Let's relax and get into the water. And I'm thinking in my head, that's a terrible idea. You're drunk. You're intoxicated. You don't go into water. You don't go hiking in the woods at night. I mean, that's how people drown, when they're drunk and they go swimming. So I was like, why is she trying to get him away from the campsite, right? There's something else going on. And then Sam wants to go. He's like, fine, I'll go, but I have to go take a leak, right? So he apparently goes to the bathroom, and we find out later, like, he falls and he gets stuck. So he doesn't actually go on the hike. So we do actually find Sam. He has a branch stuck in his leg when he falls. So Coulter's there, and of course, him being a survivalist, he was able to kind of patch him up and get him, to the emergency room or get him to the medic. And so now we're really just looking for three people: Jason, Monica, and Coop. So now I'm even more worried, because I was like, I saw something in Jason and Monica, and now they're alone with Coop. So what's going on there, right? So there's a lot of storylines in this, right? Coulter finds a gentleman called Keaton, and he's a retired cop, and he's there kind of investigating an old case. One of those cases that never was solved but kind of keeps eating at you. So even though he's a retired cop, he's still going back because he wants to try to find it unofficially off the clock. So, that's kind of nice for Coulter. Now he has somebody to kind of go through the woods and kind of find out what's going on. And they do find a gentleman called Marcus Wilson, kind of a psychotic person. He has some mental illness, and they find out he's the one who was shooting at people. Basically, he's saying it's his mountain, and so justifying being able to shoot at people. So together, Colton and this retired cop, Keaton, I feel like they were able to close his case from 8 years ago. You know what I mean? Or from years ago, this being the shooter. So I feel like, Coulter was able to kind of give his case closure. And then they do end up finding those three: Coulter, Jason, and Monica. And it basically, 8 years ago, they were all drunk driving, and they hit somebody, and he died, and they buried him or threw them in the lake, basically took the body. And Coop has been feeling guilty. Jason was driving, Monica and Coop were in the car, but Coop has been feeling guilty about this, right? So he's, basically wants to come clean. And secretly, he's been paying the widower. He feels so guilty that, Jason ran over this man and he has a wife and son. So Coop has been sending money anonymously to him. To her. And Monica and Jason apparently are parents of their own. They have kids of their own and their parents. So I don't know why they didn't feel any remorse. So that kind of threw me. I'm like, hey, you have your own kids and you're mad at Coop. I understand you don't want to destroy your lives. And they felt like Coop was ruining their lives. But they didn't have any remorse for the person they hit. So that kind of was like, whoa, you have kids of your own and you have no remorse for this little boy who's growing up without a dad. I mean, you're a dad, you know what I mean? So that was kind of like, whoa, you should feel a little guilty, Jason and Monica. I feel like Coop's feelings are natural, right? I mean, if you hit somebody by accident, hit and run, and somebody dies and you were responsible, you should feel some guilt for that. So I feel like Coop had been keeping this cooped up, so to speak, all these years and paying the widower anonymously. And he's ready to come clean. And basically, Jason and Monica were trying to shut him up at knife point, threatening like, hey, and he's saying, you can kill me, but this is coming out. So apparently he wrote a letter that he was going to send. And things got out of hand. And they had a knife. They're keeping him at knife point. And Coop and Jason fought. And Coop ended up stabbing Jason. Not on purpose, but they were just kind of fighting for the weapon there. And then out of rage, Monica, seeing that her husband was just killed, she hits Coop with a kettlebell or some kind of weight. And then she kind of freaks out and she goes to bury Coop, throw him in the water, kind of like that they did with the hit and run victim. And Coop starts like coughing and she realizes that he's not dead. And that's kind of when Coulter comes and arrests them. But definitely a lot of suspense, right? Because you feel bad for several people in this situation, right? You feel bad for Sam lying there all night with, a branch in his leg. You feel bad for Coop, who's been holding this guilt. He wasn't the driver, but he was in the car, and you feel bad for Keaton, the retired cop, because he's still, after being retired, still trying to close this case and bring closure to that family. So there's just a lot of characters in this episode. You do see Bobby and Velma for a little bit. And you see Rennie, who, if you've seen my videos, I love Rennie. I think she's a great actress, and the character has such great chemistry with Coulter. So I love that in the end, Rennie and Coulter were just kind of sharing a glass of wine there, because any episode where you see chemistry between them is great. I loved it. So definitely love this episode. I just love all the characters and all the cast. They just work so well together. But definitely a lot going on here, and then you also see at the very end, Coulter mentions to Kenan his ongoing case for Gina Pickett from 10 years ago. So it seems like he mentioned it in a couple past episodes. So it seems like maybe this is an ongoing case that maybe towards the end of the series or the end of the season maybe, or maybe they'll go into next season with this, Gina Pickett case. It's like the one case Coulter couldn't solve, and it kind of eats at him. So I think that's why he really related to Keaton when he was helping him in this episode. He's a retired cop, and yet he's still out at, nighttime trying to find the suspect. So Colton could relate because he's got a 10-year-old case that still eats at him. So he actually asked Kenan to look at the case kind of fresh with new eyes. So, maybe he'll be back in another episode. Maybe we'll see him again to help Coulter. But I like how they kind of have that running side story about Gina Pickett and, finding closure for her sister. So all in all, I thought it was a great episode. I hope you enjoyed, discussing it and talking with me about it. So until next time, I will see you then. Bye.